Hey YouTube, Joy Williams here, answering a few questions about the wig making. I'm in the process of making another one for a client, and so I got a lot of questions on the last video about the closure. So I'm at the closure part. For those of you that have not seen part one, please go and look at that video, and it'll give you a lot of information as far as how to lay the tracks. For those of you that ask, I do actually cut the wefts instead of folding them over, because going through with the sewing machine will reinforce that weft, so you don't have to have the bulkiness, because I like it to lay really flat on the side. So that answers that question. But if you can see, I'm using some curly hair, and I'm at the part in which I'm getting ready to place the closure. I got to go in there and kind of clean up some of those lines. But if you can kind of see the type of wig cap that I use, I do not use a dome cap. I actually use a cap that is made for wig making. This actually comes like this, all closed in. And because of the measurements and the circumference of the client's head, I actually measure with the tape measure her measurements and match those measurements onto the wig. So because of that, I know I need about 2.5 inches of space in order to attach the closure. So I'll attach the closure, in between there. One of the ways that I do actually sew the closure on via sewing machine, you can see just a regular lace closure, and I like to kind of get the excess hair out of my way, so I'll clip it down, because of course this is the middle part of the closure and I won't be sewing that. And then I take my measurements here. This is the wig cap that has the adjustable straps, so over time these do tend to stretch out. Not out of proportion because it's made for wig caps, but it does tend to stretch out, and so these help to keep that intact. And then once I go in, there's a different imperfections and stuff. I'll take pictures once I'm finished, but once I go in and kind of clean this part of it up. But it is ventilated. You can see that. So it's hot in Texas, and so you want your clients to be as comfortable and yourself to be as comfortable as possible. So the tracks are laid down that way in order for ventilation. So the way that I do this, and I'll show you in a second the other part of this, is that I'll take this section here, and so I'm literally just measuring the closure onto here. Now from there, I'll take that to my sewing machine and sew down one side, and then sew down the other side, and then tack the middle. So I actually do sew the closures down with the sewing machine, and if I can figure out how to get my camera to video record me while I do that, I'll definitely let you guys see how I actually do it. But just trying to answer a few questions that I've been getting in email and on comments and things like that. So I will be back with the other part of this. Okay, so try to arrange the camera for you to kind of see what I'm doing as best as I could do. So give me a break. When I get a chance, I'll get the other things that I need. But just to show you how I'm laying the track, I've split the wig in half. It comes together in a full wig cap. I cut this down the middle so I can adjust the closure and the size of the actual circumference. The reason why I do this, so I can make sure that whatever circumference I've measured her head, which is, around, all the way around the side, I make sure that I have that same circumference in the wig. That way, when she puts it on, it's not ill-fitted. I have this clipped in. If you can see, I also take one little line. Most of the time, it's that reinforced section of the lace closure, and I just separate that out. That's the straight line that I actually will sew on. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the straight line that I actually will sew on. So it's just the outside corner of the lace closure, but it's just that straight line. I line that up with the line here. For aesthetic purposes, for accuracy, a bunch of different reasons why I do this, but I've just found that this is the best way that works for me. Hopefully you get me on the sewing machine. One thing I will tell you, do not be in a rush while you're trying to do this. This takes patience, this takes accuracy, this takes time. When I'm making a wig for a client, I normally tell them about 2 to 3 weeks turnaround time, just because I have other clients and other people that I'm servicing, and I really want to make sure that I give the wig the accuracy, basically, to be able to get that done. Until I have a factory and I'm mass producing, I'm doing all this by hand, and so I want to make sure that people are getting what they're paying for. So no, I do not rush my process. Now that I'm getting to, if you can see that, now that I'm getting to the back of the closure, I stop it right there. Right when it starts to curve, I stop it. And then I go to the other side. So just so you can see what's on so far. Lift it up. Pull it off. And so that you can see, I've successfully sewed down this one side. Again, I'm making a straight line. Now I need to go in and fix that little section. But I'm making a straight line right along that side of that reinforced part of the lace. And I'll stop right as it starts to hit that curvature. Then I'll go to the other side and I'll do the same thing over here. So essentially when I'm done, it'll look something to the effect of this. Okay. And I'm pausing so that I'm not aimlessly talking, because it irritates me when I see people doing that on YouTube. Anywho, show you again the straight line, the reinforced part of the lace closure, that this will be on the other side of the stitch. This will be where I stitch. Line that up with this section of the wig cap, giving myself a couple extra inches of space to allow to match for the circumference of the client's head. Lay that on there. Sew a straight line. Again, don't be in a rush. Only go a couple centimeters at a time. Make sure that you're accurate. There's my stitch. Yes, it's good. I can't even find it. There you go. That way you can see the stitch in there, the straight line. So now I've got 2 straight lines, one going this way, one going this way. Of course, you cut this little lip off once you're complete. Now I have this section of the closure that I need to go to. I need to sew down. So I just make sure that I've connected that to this part of the wig cap, which is why I do not cut the wig cap completely off. I'll show you what the wig cap looks like before I get started. That way you can see the reason why I do it the way that I do it. This is one of the wig caps that I use. This is the wig cap that I use. It is for wig making specifically. This part is plastic. Of course, those come out. I actually cut them out as I go up. So instead of cutting all these panels out, to keep some sense of straightness of the panels, I literally cut a few inches at a time. Yes, it's painstaking. If you want to try to cut all of it out at the same time, be my guest. What I will tell you is that these panels move. So if you cut all the plastic out at the same time, you don't get the proper spacing. You don't get the proper spacing, you will readjust the size of your wig. So I've learned, again, an accurate way to do this is to just cut a few inches of the plastic in the panels at a time. That way you keep the proper spacing and you are more accurate. So you can do this one time and you're done. This is what the top of that wig cap looks like. Like I said, when I get to the closure part, I cut this down this seam and then I adjust that. This is a small to medium size, which helps with adjusting when you're working with clients with small to medium heads. They do come in large as well. These have the adjustable straps. And so this is the type of wig cap that I use. These are ordered online. They're specifically for wig making. You've got ear tabs over here. You've got a back panel right here. You see underneath, that's the lines for the adjustable straps to go right in there. But yeah, guys, just trying to answer the questions that you guys have posed to me. I want to make sure that you didn't think I was ignoring you. Just been busy. So back to our wig. Reason why I don't cut all this off, because again, you think, oh, there's a wig cap, boom, closure goes right here, cut all that out, sew all this around, easy. Not when you're thinking about accuracy and you're actually making a wig for someone's head. Now, if you're just making a generic one, yeah, absolutely. And whoever it fits, it fits. But when you're thinking about accuracy and someone's paying you $500 or so, $600, $800, $1,000 for a wig, you want to make sure it's accurate. So, I've given myself some little space. I've created more inches. Giving myself about another 2.5 inches here by just doing that, and that matches up with the circumference of my client's head. Now I'm just going to match this bottom up, and again another straight line. So you do one straight line this way, one straight line that way, and then one straight line across, and that is how you connect your closure to the wig. I'll add some pictures once I'm finished, and then you'll be able to see the after. Thanks.